What is one thing that happened to you that had the biggest impact on your self-identity? So I'm Rachel. I'm the creator of the Heal, Grow, Reset movement. I empower women to restart, reboot, and reset their lives because living in abundance, it is our birthright. To go after your birthright and take back what you've lost, go to www.womanreset.com/reboot and take the Restart, Reboot, Reset workshop. So who stole your identity? That might be a question in which you feel like, well, who do you mean, who stole my identity? So no, I'm not talking about the black web. I'm not talking about anyone stealing your social security number. But what I am talking about is the identity that you had before that one event happened to you. That one, whether it was a traumatic event, it was a breakup, it was a bad relationship, it was something that happened on your job, something that happened personally with you growing up. What was that one thing that happened to you that caused you to start to see yourself differently? Here's the thing. When it comes to your self-identity, it can change, right? Our experiences changes our self-identity. We start to view the world a little bit different, so our behaviors may start to change. And so when I ask you this question, what is that one event that negatively impacted you in your self-identity? I want you to think back. What was that one event? Because I want to invite you to rewrite your story. So for a long time, I was so self-conscious of speaking in front of large crowds. And once I became an entrepreneur in 2020, I knew that I could no longer have that fear because in order for me to really build my legacy, there's no way I can continue to play small, sit in a room, stand behind a computer. I have to be able to get out there. I have to be able to put my workshops out there in the community. I have to be able to speak to people and get contracts. And so I knew that that was one of the things that was holding back my fullest potential, was me being self-conscious of speaking. And so when I started to think about that, I said, I really cannot stay in that place. It's not going to serve my legacy. It's not going to serve me. It's not going to serve my money. It's just not going to be of service being that self-conscious person. But for years, all the way up into my 30s, I just figured I was just this introverted person who was just this quiet. People often saw me as shy, which ironically I hated. I hated having that label. But to be truthful, if I had to volunteer to go on a stage in front of many people, I dare not do that. No, don't choose me, don't pick me. I don't want to be in front of the crowd. Don't choose me. That can't be me now, because I quit my job in 2020 and now having to build my own stage, I have to be able to be possibly in front of a large crowd, which I have done so far, and I have done it successfully. So I want to give you permission and I want to invite you to restart, reboot, and reset your life. So I'm going to give you the 3 steps that I used in order to get in front of a large crowd of people, right? I was able to redo, reboot, re-energize, reinvigorate, reinvent myself prior to that one event that absolutely changed my self-identity. So let's jump into it. Make the decision to restart. If there's an area of your life that you know you are not reaching your fullest potential, it's causing you to play small, to live in lack, what can you do? You have to first make the decision that it's time to leap, it's time to jump, it's time to run. Even if you have to crawl to that next level, you just first have to make the decision that where you are is not going to benefit you, it's not going to benefit anyone around you, it's not going to benefit your legacy. I desire to get unstuck. I wanted more opportunities. I still want more opportunities. I know I have to pitch people when it comes to my business. I have to be able to stand in front of rooms, stand in front of crowds. I have to be able to say, hey, I have this journal. Do you want access to this journal, right? And so being able to reach out to people and speak to people, to some it may seem like a small feat, but to me, for so long, being that self-conscious individual, based off of one situation that happened to me, it had a big impact. And so I made the decision that I will start to play big. You're going to see me on more platforms. You're going to see me in more places. You're going to see me a lot more, right? So that is the decision that I have made. I'm going to heal, get unstuck, and move forward, play big, stop playing small, get moving. For me, I had to speak to the little girl in me. I was in 3rd grade. It was the last day of school. And my 3rd grade teacher told me that if I talked as much as I talked in her 3rd grade class, if I talked that much in 4th grade, my 4th grade teacher would not like me. So I was fine, I was cool, whatever. really didn't pay attention to it until it was time for me to go to fourth grade. Once I got to fourth grade, I said, I need my teacher to like me, right? I don't want to be in her way. I don't want her to be angry at me because I'm talking too much, so I just didn't speak. I didn't say much. I became self-conscious. I became a perfectionist. I needed things to be perfect. I needed people, I became a people pleaser. So I spoke to the little girl in me and I told her that it is time to forgive that teacher, right? I can no longer hold on to what happened to me and still be living out that same behavior based off of a thought, an idea, or words that a teacher spoke to me. So I knew that I had to take the reins into my own hand and actually forgive her. Now, here's the thing about forgiveness. You're not always going to be able to actually be face to face with that individual when you forgive them, right? But as it is said, forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness loosens the shackles that are on you. And so once I went through the forgiveness process, I was able to say, you know what? That teacher was probably going through something that day. I forgive her. As the scripture says, you know what? They know not what they do. She didn't know what she was doing. And even if she did, I still forgive her because I'm going to loosen myself from whatever it is that she was going through that day, because she's going on with her life. She's moved on. I've actually seen her in a restaurant. She looked like she's living a good life. She ain't thinking nothing about what happened. So I knew 2 years ago in 2020, when I started my business, I needed to be freed. I had to heal from that situation, and that caused me to have to reboot. That means shut down that story and reboot, right? Just like you do with a computer. What do you do with a computer? You reboot it. That means you shut it down and you start it over. So I had to reboot my life. Shut down the idea, the thoughts. I had to shut down that day of 1999 and restart and rewrite my story. So I've made resetting my daily life work. So every day I wake up before the kids are up, I wake up before the sun is up, and I get into my word. I get into my journals because there are times where I want to revert back. The real truth is that it is a little bit more painful, right? When you're getting passed up for opportunities, no one knows who you are, you're not making sales, you're not reaching your goals. But not only that, my legacy is affected by that very thing. So it is important for me every single day to die to that truth, or what I thought was truth, of 1999. That me talking too much is actually going to make someone not like me. Now, here's the thing. If I do talk too much and someone doesn't like me, then that person isn't for me. That person isn't a part of Woman Reset. That person isn't a part of my community. But anyone else who's like, you know what, the things you say, they're good, then you should be here. Just like you, subscribing to this channel, sharing this podcast, sharing this broadcast. It's important, right? It's important to get this out, because one of the things that God said to me is that I made you fearfully and wonderfully made. I made you to be a talker. I made you to be able to go and speak to people, because, I have a counseling background. You got to be able to speak to people. Your heart wants to help people heal. And so I cannot be selfish and hold on to things that I know about. I cannot be selfish and keep things to myself. I have to be able to go out there and help women heal. That requires me to talk, okay? So if you too are ready to embrace change, if you too are ready to lift your voice and have a voice, if you too are ready to start your journey, then I want to invite you into the Restart, Reboot, Reset workshop. It is available for you. All you have to do is go to the link below or into the show notes, and you'll be able to get access to that workshop. You can go to womanreset.com/reboot to get access to it. Like, comment, subscribe, and then let me know below in the comments, which area of your life are you looking to reboot? I'll see you next time.